All right, and we're back. So huge shout out to our own Artwist, as well as Mr. Swearingen for the outstanding entertainment straight from DEF CON 28 safe mode. All right, so next up, we were almost not graced with this tonight, but next up we've got to check our pie holes. So I'm going to pass this right on off. Ari, it's all yours, brother.
All right, thank you. How you guys doing today? I cannot share my screen. So tonight we're going to be learning about how to set up a pie hole. That is a DNS level ad blocker. Blocks pretty much all ads on your entire network, and it is fantastic. I've been running it for quite a while now, and I don't ever want to change. Great thing about the latest updates is that you can, there we go, is you can have it set to share or have groups. So you can have multiple different profiles. Like if you have your children on one of them, you can block all not safe for work items. Or if you have another thing that has to run on a VPN that just doesn't like a pie hole or ad blockers, that's fine too. So I'm not going to be running a full PowerPoint tonight. We're just going to be running this all pretty much in terminal, and I will switch over to a different window here in a little bit to show you guys how to set up your router to get this thing all set up. If you guys got the Zoom message that had all of the things to follow along, I have a Pi 3 right here with us, and that's just a 3B plus. It's running the latest version of Raspbian. Nothing really fancy about that. I've ran all of the apt-get updates and upgrades, and other than that, I am at a brand new Pi. So first, if we just go over to the GitHub, I will have all of these links available also. If you go over to GitHub, you'll find this one very simple command. That's all you really need to do. Just run that, and it'll go ahead and download and install everything you need from Pi-hole. Great thing here is that it doesn't have to be run on the latest and greatest Pi. You can run this thing on an old school Raspberry Pi original one. That's actually what I have as my main one. It's just hard-lined 6 inches away from my router. It's tucked up out of the way. I'm not going to use it for anything else. Why not? You could run this thing on a Raspberry Pi or on a Pi 0W, run it on a 3B plus like I am now. You could even run it in Docker on a server if you don't want it to be on actual bare metal. They are insanely easy to configure, insanely easy to set up. And if you're like me and you have family who isn't comfortable with the fact that this gives you the ability to monitor pretty much all network traffic, you can actually block all of that. Let's go ahead. See that? We're going to go ahead and set the manual. I'm going to set up a DHCP reservation here in just a second. Let's go ahead with wireless because I am going to be running this one. Now, personally, I've always used level 3 for IPv4 and then Cloudflare for IPv6. I've never had any problems with that. There's been some security concerns using Google, but it's not too bad. These stock block lists are great. They will block pretty much everything you need. And if you get into the community and on the subreddit and in just their forums, they have a lot more block lists. Like we have some great ones to use for all the Roku logs, and I get 30,000 hits a day almost on those just from our 2 Roku TVs. So we have that right there. That's my IP address. That's going to be my static IP that's good. I'm about to set up on my router. Very simple. We'll do that here in just a minute. That is a good thing to take an image of. So you take note of that one. There's your IPv6 and web admin interface. That's always fantastic to have. Web server, yep. That's so you can access it. Personally, I say no to this just because I have other adults in my household and it's not very nice from a private information kind of standpoint to be able to look at all of their stuff. Now this one, FTL is a great one. It's a faster than light. It makes it much, well, the whole thing speeds up actually. There we go. You can check the statistics of everything that you have, how many ads are being blocked, how many hits are going out. This process usually just takes a couple minutes, but for the most part, you can keep it as the default settings. Here in a second, I'm gonna switch over to my other screen. I just gotta wait for this thing to go. If anyone has any questions, go ahead and ask away.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hey, this is going to be like a relatively noobish question, but
This is a 101.
so the way this is set up, yeah, I think you like. Does this have? Do you have this like in line? Like, so if I've got fiber, so I've got the jack from the fiber box to the router. Like, does this have to be in line between them, or
no? That's actually a really good question. It doesn't have to be actually. Right now, I am setting up this Pi literally on my bedside table, and my router is all the way in the other room. What we're going to be doing is actually going into our router settings and redirecting all of the DNS queries from whatever your ISP does by default to point to here instead.
Cool. And quick follow-up.
Yep.
Google, who of course I've got, they have this very sort of Gestapo-y attitude towards things. They keep telling me not to do certain things, and if otherwise, they'll take my internet away forever. Do you know if this is one of those things that they frown upon? I'm not sure how they would track it easily, but
You know, I am not qualified to answer that question.
I was going to say, I've got Google Fiber and I've got both AdGuard running and Pi-hole. I switch back and forth and they've never said shit.
cool.
Yeah, it works fine with Google Fiber.
Nice. Thanks.
There we go. Thank you
But then
guys.
again,
for
I've
that
also
answer.
removed most of the Google Fiber stuff. So
I do have, and I have had issues with IPv6 resolution on my Mac. So
Really? What have you been having? Because I run a MacBook Pro.
it still uses Google's servers, and so what I ended up doing is just putting a different wireless access point in front of the Google wireless access point. So I don't use it for wireless. I just use it as a the modem and
That works.
a switch, and then the other devices have better Wi-Fi than the Google box anyway.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I personally have not. There is talk that they are going to be updating the Pi-hole here in the next month or two to support that, actually. But I haven't had any problems. Does anybody else have a better answer?
Just block it.
There we go.
I have the advantage of having one of my employer's firewalls sitting in my network, and I just block all that stuff. No quick, no DNS over HTTP, SSL, TLS. All that stuff just gets blocked.
I agree with James. I think that's the right approach.
Yeah. All right. So, hey, now that we're here, if you guys don't mind me interrupting your conversation, after all the installation, you'll get this page right here. This is just a generated password. You can absolutely go in and change that. It's highly recommended. If you forget, the console will actually tell you how to do all of that. But right now, we can just take that right there. Copy. Go ahead and switch over there. Let me. Can you guys see this Google Chrome?
No, you'll have to share that app as well.
Oh. Why is this not? There we go. That should be working better now.
We can see it now.
See both.
There we go. All right, so now we can just go. We got that one right there. Yeah. And here we go. Here is our new Pi-hole version 5.1.2. So here's your admin console. Going to log in. It won't have any username on here, so you just have to have the password that it gave you on that last one. I don't care if you guys know this or not. I'm about to unplug it and everything, so. There we go. See, 85,000 domains on those two different block lists. Now, we have our MAC address. We're going to need that. We can go over into our router, set up a new DHCP reservation. Let's go ahead and, as you can see, I already have a couple of them set up. And what do you got? I'm not going to save this because if I do, it'll kick everything off of my network. But if you have a Hytron like mine, on to, where's that? Darn it, really? DNS settings, okay, there we go. Then switch into manuals and DNS2. This one is my primary Pi-hole. 8.0.29. And if I save this, I might get booted off here for just a
Did he really just kick himself off the network?
Yeah.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kicked myself off. Yay. That's how it's done. But some devices, specifically like some Roku TVs, they don't necessarily like having just a single DNS server. But hey, look at that. There we go. Now we're seeing queries coming in. Sometimes if you have two, it should split the load up pretty evenly. Not always though. However, if we go into my regular Pi-hole, you can see here, I get 50,000 queries in 24 hours. A lot of those is just from my Roku TV, and those I will get constantly. I've had some times where I've had 24,000 in an hour before. But you can see that I get quite a lot of blockages on here. What's up there? Damn it. Let's go to this one. So in here, got some fancy stuff. Got our nice group management. Here's where we can add things like none. This is something like I would do for if you have a device that's behind a VPN that doesn't like this stuff, or IoT devices. You can change those. Then you can actually have separate clients onto separate device, onto separate groups. And group assignment here, I can change what block lists they go on. You can even set multiple, which is just fantastic. That's not going to do anything because the priority one is just the default that has everything on here. Go ahead and biggerize that. Then you can go into here, add lists, and you can choose which groups they're in. So if you want like none, you don't want to have that one as no blocking on anything like that. But simple Google search. There we go. There are lots and lots and lots of different options that you have here. Mostly I stick to basic ones. Other than that, that's it for Pi-hole 101. You have any other questions? Anything else that needs explained more?
If anything, just a warning for people that if they set this up as a single DNS server, if that Pi goes down, your network's going to be porked.
Yeah, I learned that one the hard way.
Pi's are cheap, man. Make two.
Yeah.
I've got two different Pi Zeros running on my network, and
yep.
It's a $2. It was like a $2.50 dongle to plug in. By the way, also do not put your DNS on Wi-Fi.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I've got two Pi Zeros with the little $2.50 dongle. I've had one of them tank, but well, yeah, you can run on Wi-Fi, but then when it goes down, you're going, what's my problem? Is my problem DNS or is my problem Wi-Fi?
Yeah, and you can also get some latency issues there. Yep, you can run it in a Docker image. There are so many options, just absolutely insane. You got all the stuff here. If you have a dynamic DNS server, you can set that up. You can set up a DHCP server. It's just so bloody configurable.
So the end result of setting up this Pi, you said it's a DNS based ad blocker. Could you show us some of that in action? Maybe like going to like advertisement heavy websites. Like, does it work on the browser level?
Yeah.
Or okay, awesome.
Here we go. Here's adblocker.com.
This one go to Lifehacker and before and after.
Well, no, that means I'll have to actually disable it. But here you'll see a whole bunch of, you'll have pop-ups and things like that. And yeah, there should be, let's try CNN. Any of the major news, you always have the massive sidebars.
Totally.
And yeah, I got nothing here.
Dude, that's fucking awesome. Like I never would have thought that this would have been like a hardware solution. That's so clever.
It works on your mobile devices, everything.
Oh, that's so fucking cool.
Yeah,
well, thank you for the demo.
I hate using Wi-Fi pretty much anywhere else. It'll block all of your in-game mobile ads. Yeah, you can even set up OpenVPN alongside your Pi, alongside Pi-hole, and then you can just VPN into your own home network, especially if you're on a DDNS solution. So you can always have ad blocking everywhere you go.
That's another clever solution. Yeah, thank you so much, man.
Yep. Also, some things don't get blocked, so I always make sure to also run personally uBlock Origin. Some limitations are Yahoo and Hulu specifically, because those serve their ads on the same servers as the regular content. So far, it hasn't been possible to block the ads for there without blocking the whole service. So heads up on that.
You should also look at Yoga DNS. It allows you to do DNS profiles on your machine. So like you can switch from your Pi-hole and stuff, and then when you go to work, you can switch to your work profile without having to mess with actually go into your settings.
There we go. I actually haven't used that.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sweet. I run it on a couple of my machines. So I can switch back and forth between depending where I'm at.
Nice. But yeah, thank you guys for coming to my TED Talk. Any other questions?
I just have a statement. This is Bill. One of the things I really like the network level DNS filtering is for things that I can't install uBlock Origin on, like TVs and other IoT stuff. It's interesting to see the level of tracking that exists, and you're able to now control it a lot better and see it. The dashboard, the visibility the dashboard gives you is amazing.
Yeah, I have so many logs from just Roku, and normally, you know how you have just so many pop-up ads and little banners and things like that. I don't get them. And it's glorious. Let's see if we have any queries blocked here. Come on now.
So how does it deal with those things that are doing, you have to watch the video in order to watch the stream? Is it just kind of, you're getting it's not a block, but you're getting a page that just kind of goes, yeah, go on? Or what is it doing with those kind of things? Because that was one of the things that kind of caused my, not necessarily like CBS and CBS Access are the big ones that I.
Twitch has that feature as well. Like you can switch through as many streams as you like, but they'll restart the ad for you until you consume it.
Occasionally I've had, this is a hit or miss thing. Sometimes it just has a blank screen for 30 seconds to a minute, however long the ad is. Sometimes it actually goes through. It depends on where it's served from. Yeah. But yeah, the only place I really see ads anymore is Hulu and YouTube. Yeah.
That sounds like success. Hey, man, thank you very, very much for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Super helpful. I haven't set one up yet myself, so now
feel free to reach out to me. We're also, there's lots of guys over in the Labs channel on Slack that are pretty much always willing to help you set things up.